Welcome back. The president has given a sneak peek of the budget he plans to unveil tomorrow. It includes rolling back about $1 trillion in automatic sequestration cuts that began in 2013. It will reportedly seek to boost spending by $74 billion. That is 7% over current caps. That spending increase will be paid for in part through tax increases on the wealthiest. So how much of this will get past the new GOP-backed Congress? Tom Price is chairman of the House Budget Committee, and he joins us right now. Congressman, good to have you on the program. Welcome.
Hey, Maria. Thanks so much. Good to be with you.
So we are expecting the president's budget tomorrow to include rolling back that roughly $1 trillion in automatic sequestration cuts that began in 2013, seek to boost spending and raise taxes on the rich. What are you going to, what is your response to that, if in fact that is what we hear tomorrow?
Well, we haven't seen the specifics yet, but the president will roll out his budget this week, and it seems to be more of the same policies that have resulted in the lowest, slowest economic recovery out of an economic downturn in the history of the country. More taxes, more spending, more borrowing. And it's important to remember that every single dollar that's taxed and every single dollar that's borrowed is a dollar that can't be used to pay the rent, to pay the mortgage, to buy a house, to buy a car, to send your kids to college. So the things that the American people want to do, the president's budget is making more difficult. We simply think there's a better way.
What is the better way? You know, I was talking with Larry Summers, who's going to be coming up in a few minutes here, and he feels like, given the fact that the interest rates in this country are at such rock bottom levels, now is the time to borrow money to spend that money on infrastructure. Where are you on that?
Well, that'd be fine if there wasn't any debt at all. But remember, we're $18 trillion in debt. The Congressional Budget Office told us this week that in the next 10 years, we'll add $5.6 trillion in payments on interest. We'll add $9.5 trillion to the debt over that period of time. That's if there are no changes at all. So the better way is to present a budget that we will, through our committee and through the House, that will actually get to balance, that will do what the American people have to do in their homes and in their businesses every single day, and that's not spend more money than comes in. We will provide a path that demonstrates how you save and strengthen and secure Medicare and Medicaid and the health and retirement programs for our country. And we'll demonstrate how pro-growth policies, tax policy reform, energy policy actually create more jobs and more opportunity. We call it an opportunity budget for the American people. We think that's the better way.
Let's talk about that in terms of specifics, in terms of tax reform and what it should look like, because I'm looking at this sneak peek of the president's budget proposal, and it includes a whole lot of tax increases on corporate America, whether it be taxing unearned income overseas, whether it be taxing companies that are doing business internationally. This is going to be one more pressure for companies today in the face of an economy that is 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
That's exactly right, and it doesn't work. That's the problem. We have as you know, Maria, and your listeners know, we have the highest business tax rate in the industrialized world. What that means is that it's more difficult for businesses to create and expand jobs here than it is in any other industrialized country when it comes to taxes. That's not the right way to do things. The better way is to make it so that the United States is competitive with the industrialized world when it comes to taxes on businesses. We need to bring down taxes for those small businesses as well, the pass-through entities, and we need to make certain that businesses that are domiciled, that are housed in the United States, but do business overseas and make a profit overseas, are able to bring that money back home without being taxed in a punishing way. Those are the kinds of things that create a healthy economy, create more jobs and more opportunity for the American people. It can be done. That's the better way to do it.
So you're going to be doing hearings on the president's budget proposals. Those details will come out tomorrow. What if, at the end of the day, the president just vetoes all of that, what you're saying? I mean, are we going to have the next 2 years of doing nothing?
Well, the good news about a congressional budget is that it doesn't have to be signed by the president. So we're looking forward to working with our Republican and Democratic colleagues in the United States Senate to come forward with a budget that actually gets us to balance and defines those pro-growth policies. And you know, it's curious, Maria, we've been in this session of Congress now for 4 weeks, and the president has issued 8 veto threats. It's the kind of policies that he puts in place. He says it's my way or the highway. That's not what the American people voted for in November. They voted for divided government, yes, but they want us to work together and solve the challenges that exist in this country. And we call on the president to work with us so we can actually get things moving in the right direction.
All right, real quick, Congressman, the United Steelworkers Union, the breaking news of the day, they are going on strike. They represent employees at more than 200 U.S. oil refineries. They want job security. If they do an all-out stoppage, that impacts 64% of oil production in the United States. What are the implications of this strike?
Well, what the unions are calling for is more jobs and more job security. And so when the House passed Keystone Pipeline and the Senate passed Keystone Pipeline in a bipartisan way and the president issues a veto threat, that's what these folks are upset about. They're upset about an administration that doesn't recognize that more energy and more jobs for this country are good things. That's what we want to do. We want the American people we call on the American people to let the president know that the kinds of policies that the House and Senate are pushing through right now in a bipartisan way are the kinds of things that will get this country back on track and get this economy rolling in a healthy way.
Congressman, we'll be watching once the president releases that budget tomorrow. Thanks very much for joining us. We will see you soon.
Thanks,
Congressman
Maria.
Tom Price joining us.